All right, I'm going to share my screen. So, good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for jumping on here. Yeah, came to my attention recently that there will you will also be, and hopefully I'm not speaking to something you're not aware of, but it has come to my attention that you'll be able to, especially after this training, you'll be able to add sessions into the for workshops in the system. So basically, the long and short of it is you'll be able to go in and either copy a session or add one from scratch, however you choose to do it. And that's what I'm going to be doing training on today. So I wanted to show you, share my screen. Okay. Bring this screen back up. Okay. So I wanted to make note that on this page here, you should have access to this page, this admin only page. And I've added two documents here. The workshop checklist that Richard put together. Richard's, uh, Richard Shazad, right?
Of course.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, this workshop checklist, I put that on there today. And I also put a new calendar invite. There was one up here that was put onto this page when we first started, around the time we started the project and partnership with the workshops. So I just wanted to make you aware there's two new resources here for you. Okay. This is the workshop checklist, and it's written in two different perspectives. So from an admin perspective, like the top where it says for workshop admins, uh, think about like when you're if we're putting a workshop in from scratch, or we're getting the information we need for a workshop session. This is Now you don't need this to put a lesson in, but I wanted to mention that if we're putting something in from scratch or we're putting in a new uh, session, we want to have this information. That's the category of the workshop. Where's it going to live? Is it going to live in career development? Is it going to live in life skills? Is it going to live in professional skills? Because they're the different categories. You already know that stuff. Um, the date and time of the workshop session, that's important information you need to know. The time zone, obviously it's Eastern time, but when I put the session in, we want to use the learner time zone just to keep that as a standard. And then inside the session, and I'm going to show you the session in a minute, we have a description of what it's all about. And as I come down into the bottom of this document, you'll see the calendar invite, which I have just put on the admin page. So this is the new version of the calendar invite, which we'll look at today. And Richard also included some other information, and then the final steps, which is actually going to put the session in from scratch and or copy a session. So there's two ways to do that. Okay, so I just wanted to go over this document with you so you kind of have an idea what that's about. And I'm going to go to the course catalog. So when you log in, you're probably not going to see all these folders, but you are going to see my workshops. That's the PHL Career Portal live. Let's call it a folder. That's the live folder where all your workshops are kept. Okay. That's the only place in the system we keep your virtual workshops. It's in the My Workshops folder. But I gave you access, and I didn't do this in way back when, because I'm going to be working in this folder today. I gave you access to a workshop test folder. Okay. So this is just a bunch of stuff that is not live. It's has no meaning. It's just a test folder that the admins on this side, on the FillaWorks side, may use to do different things in. It's not where the regular workshops go. The regular workshops are in the My Workshops folder, and you can see these are just folders, but they equate to different categories in the system. So you can see life skills, industry exploration, digital literacy, professional skills, career assessment, and career planning and job search skills, right? And then we have this new one at the bottom, which we're still working on, this AmeriHealth ILT thing that that is coming up soon. And we have navigating the PHL career portal as a separate folder. And we also have navigating the PHL, navigating the PA career link job search site as a separate folder. Okay. And this is probably all, could be some old news to some of you, but I just wanted to go over that. So this is the live folder right here. Okay. So I'm going to go up to this test folder and I'm going to open up. Okay. So up at the very top, at the top level, you have a folder which equates to a category. So you saw down here, these are the categories. And when you go into the portal, you can see those tiles on the My Workshops page that say career planning and job search skills, career assessment, et cetera, et cetera. The same thing holds true over here, except none of this is live. This is just test stuff. So I'm going to click on this. This is a category. This is a session. Now, right now, we're not, the admin team on this side would be basically responsible for setting up the session for you. So if, let's say, Amanda is going to be putting in there's a new workshop coming up. If we don't have a lesson in there, you can't, if we don't have a lesson for it, you can't put the sessions in. So it's that top category folder. Then underneath that exists what's called a lesson. And I'm going to click on that. So you can see there's lots of different options over here. And normally what you would see when you open up a session. So let me go down to the live one. And I'm just going to click on modern interviewing. You know that one very well. And if I click on that, you're going to see that this is live. So this is set up the way it's supposed to be set up. And down here in this box is the actual description. So that's something we would need to if we're putting in a lesson from scratch. Okay. So I'm going to go back to where I was in that test folder. And I've already put in this test lesson. Okay. And I'm a workshop facilitator. I'm helping out with the effort of scheduling stuff and this new hybrid thing that's going on. This could, I don't know exactly what it means for the schedule, but it could mean that more sessions have to be put into the portal. So that's kind of why you're here learning this again. So, okay. So if I were setting up one from scratch, so this should already be set up. Remember, you need this lesson before the session can exist. So if you open up, I want to save changes. So if you could, a couple different ways of doing it, you can double click on it. You can go over here and you can click on lesson details. Okay. And then you're going to scroll down to the session list. Now, let me mention one thing. See this? This is the setting that makes a lesson and the sessions under it discoverable in the LMS, meaning somebody goes in and sees those sessions on the calendar. If that button is off, then we don't see anything. I just wanted to mention that because we've had that little issue every so often. Okay, so I'm going to go down to the session list.
I'm sorry, can I jump in for a second? Charles,
Yeah.
in the same advanced tab, since you,
Richard, you're garbled.
Can you hear me clearly now?
A little better.
Okay,
Yeah.
so in the same advanced tab, Charles, since you were there already, if you go back to the advanced tab, there is a multiple session registration also. That also we need to confirm that it's on. Yep.
Yeah. That would need to be on also. That means that somebody can take a session and come back later, and they want to take another one, they can take another one. And we have a lot of that going on, as you already know.
Yeah.
You have these, workshop groupies that are coming to,
Right.
to the different sessions.
Right.
I see you, Nick. So we're good. We're good. Yeah. And we have that a lot, which is good, I think. Okay. So you're not going to have to worry about this too much, but you're going to drop down to the session list and you're going to see there's two old ones in there, right? So we're going to put a new one in from scratch. Oh, you know what? Dang, let me do something here real quick. Okay. All right, I'm going to click add session and I can name this interviewing 101. That's the name that's going to be seen in the portal for the session. Eastern time. Click use learner time zone. This is not going to be recurrent. If the session were going to happen every month, was going to reoccur every Tuesday, every Wednesday, or something like that, then we would click on this setting over here. Okay. Otherwise, we're going to leave it disabled. And then we're going to put in a time and a date. So we can put in tomorrow. We can put in starts 10:15 to 11:15. You can see it defaults to that hour, which you're already doing, the hour time period. Okay. Then I go to resources. This is where I would select what type of meeting it is, right? So it's a Microsoft Teams. That's what you use, right? Microsoft Teams. Yeah. So it's a Microsoft Teams session, but you can see there's a Zoom session if we were to ever use Zoom. And what I don't have, unfortunately, I didn't create one in my calendar, but I guess I could. So I need the webinar URL to put in here. You could see I've done this before because it's retained some of the old meeting webinars that I was using in the past. So let me just make sure would the person who's putting the session in be responsible for?
They would set it up in there. That would be part of the setup process. They would set it up in their teams.
Right. So I go to my teams and I go to the calendar, right? And I go to tomorrow. Now I have a feeling I'm going to have a problem because we have this link scanner over here that is, I gotta watch. I don't want to say it too loud. We have a link scanner over here that it's probably going to not allow me to copy the link. I've had this problem before. So I'm just dumping this in real quick. 10:15 to 11:15, right? What else do you put in here? Since I don't normally do this. Nick, what else you put? I can't hear you. You're muted.
What I usually do, and this is just my process, right? What I do is when I create the Teams meeting, I literally copy the time and the name of the workshop directly from the schedule, so there's no typos. So I have like 1 p.m. You know what our schedule, like the schedule that the leads create. I type it right into the title. And then after it, I put the date and the session, and then I make the session be an hour, and I put in the date. I put nothing else in there because really all I want is a link. I do not include anyone else on that link session.
Okay.
We may want to reconsider that as a backup. This way somebody at least has the other link, because we don't want those links being passed around. So,
Right.
so then what I do is, when I copy that link, because Amber, you remember when you got stranded that time? Because and it's happened a couple times earlier on. Hasn't happened in a while. What you don't want to do is paste the wrong link into the wrong session, because when the facilitator, if you go in through Teams and they don't match, it's not what's in the URL. You're stranded out in digital workshop limbo land, right? So that's why I always ask you guys to go in through the portal, just in case. This way, even if a wrong link was posted in there by accident, you all end up in the same place, right? Does that make sense? So next, what I do then is, if once you create this, when you copy the link into the portal, there's a little active link to check it. So I always click that to make sure that the proper link is inside. So does that
Right.
make all sense to everybody?
I think
I'll
it
show you what
does.
I mean
Yeah.
when Charles copies the link in, if he can.
Yeah. I'm thinking it does. The one thing I didn't mention is the SW number. Please include that in all the titles, et
Yeah.
cetera. Whether it's
Well,
the
Teams.
session,
Mhm.
whether it's the session or the lesson or the session.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
we
don't
want
usually
that.
bother with that with the Teams, but it's not a bad idea to put it in there if you
Yeah,
want.
I like it. Okay, so let's see what happens.
You're an IT guy.
So
That's
I'm going to put the webinar in here, and I know it's
Yeah.
going to happen, but
Well, we'll try. See where it says launch location? I always check
good, it
that.
worked.
Yay.
Okay.
See,
You check it.
always.
Okay.
Because when you're doing these, you tend to do a lot of them and you get distracted. You forget if you copied it, you get pulled away.
Right. You check to make sure it's a valid link.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Then,
And hopefully I didn't lose it. I just did that, and it is a valid link.
I bring it up in Teams.
That's what I did. You just
Okay,
didn't
and
see
I
it.
look at the title, and I make sure the title matches the workshop that I'm doing. Just to tell you what I do. You can do it a different way, but I've made every error that imaginable doing these things, and
Interviewing 101, SW 101.
exactly right.
Everything looks
That's
good.
one of my checks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense to me.
I
All
call
right.
it the Tropiano method.
Okay. Down here under utilization tracking, this is, you want to select complete on open. Okay. Not attend on open, complete on open. And then if you know the session, if you know where's Laura? Right there. If you know the session host, you're building this, please put it in. If you don't, then you should come back later once you have that and put that session host in there. Okay. Advanced settings. That should take literally, if you have everything ready, I don't know, 30 seconds to do that first section. Okay. In this section, I had this saved and I didn't have it saved. But in this section, we usually put, so let me click save. Okay, you can see it's in there, right? And I did that for a reason because I want to open one of these. Yeah, this is an all one. Okay, so let me go back just for a second. I'm going to go back to one of the live ones and pull out the information I need. I would have had to have 7 or 8 documents open here. So I'm going to go to advanced setting. I'm going to pull this out, copy. Okay. I'm going to go back to that test folder and pull up Portal Workshop. Oh, go here. That should be discoverable now, or at least you'll be able to see it. I can go over here and click session details. And then in the third advanced settings section, that's where I would put this. The same thing every single time. Contact us for questions or email, blah, 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 on spiceworks.com. Tags, I mean, they're important in the system, but it's not a must. So you can, if you want, you can put interviewing. That's a tag that kind of makes it searchable in the system. Interviewing maximum learners, put in 50. Minimum learners, we're not doing that. This is already checked for team filter. Just leave it alone. All members. And we are using a calendar invite. Okay. So the calendar invite is when they register and the system sends the email automatically. It includes what's called an ICS file. That's this calendar invite. The ICS file gives them an hour reminder on the day of, an hour before reminder on the day of the session, right, of the session, of the workshop. And it includes instructions along with a deep link and the title. So I do have that document open. So from the admin page, I pulled out my new version as of 214 of the calendar invite. And it's not just a copy and paste. Okay. So remember that information we first talked about that you want to have. Okay. You want to have the title. So this is where I would put okay. The system's not going to do that automatically at this point. So with this, we'll have to put this in manually. The only other thing you have to touch is this link here. You see where it says this HTTPS and that link. So that link. So once you're that deep link, right? It's called a deep link. We call it a deep link. I have another page open. I'm going to go to the workshop calendar that exists, the live my workshops page, which exists on the portal. And I'm just going to click one of these. And I'm just going to click, there's career goals, modern interviewing. I'm going to open that up. And this is the deep link. The deep link is the page that shows all the sessions that are available. Okay. So I would come up here, I would copy that deep link. It's not the actual link of the session. It's the page that displays all the sessions for that particular workshop. So you can see there's only one in here right now. And this was completed. Oh, actually, yeah, these are the, what are you guys normally doing with this, Richard? With this deep link?
Put it in the calendar invite and
Right, right. But I mean, are you putting this link in? This deep link right here?
yeah,
This is
the one that you just copied, that's the one.
yeah,
Off this
exactly.
page, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Amanda has a question.
Yes, Amanda, I'm sorry. My head's turned to the other monitor. I'm sorry.
I'm talking and muted. I'm sorry. I actually
Yeah,
have two
that's okay.
questions.
Yeah.
The first question, is that replacing the reminder emails that we've been sending out as admins?
It's not replacing them. No, it's part of an
Okay.
extra that that uh that ICS file, that this calendar invite stuff that you're going to see in a minute, that is automatically set up to give them a 1 hour reminder right before the session, but it's not replacing anything that you're currently doing right now.
All right.
That was question number one, right?
Yes.
Got
And
number
then
two.
question number two,
Mhm.
what we're looking at right now, you said it's if we are making a new workshop from scratch. So let's say a workshop that we just added into the catalogs we haven't taught before, or is this for workshops that are pre-existing like modern interviewing, but we're creating a new session for it?
Okay, this could be for either one, but if it was a new workshop, you would want to let us know that you have a new workshop. Give us a few days advance. A new workshop is coming out. Here's all the information, and there's a process for that. There's actually a template that exists that you should have. And if you don't, we can get it to you. I would leave that up to Richard. We have a template that asks you for all that information. So when we go to build it, we don't have to keep going back and forth. What we have everything right there in front of us, and we can just put the workshop in. We can put it in the proper category. We can set up the lesson, and then we say, hey, go have fun, Amanda, and you can go put the sessions in, all on you. You can do it from scratch. You're not
All right,
worrying about copy.
fantastic. Thank
Did
you.
that
I
answer?
was confused if it does. I was definitely confused if we were where we would get a deep link from if we were making up a new session, or a new workshop, but it makes sense that we're just doing new sessions in existing workshops.
Right. But you'll still, once that workshop is available, you'll be able to go out here to the portal and grab that deep link. Now, my question to
So we grab the deep link of the page that has all the sessions.
exactly, that's where I was going. So this is actually the deep link. I said it was here, but you're just going to click on the sessions button, and that's going to be the deep link. It's not for that individual session. It's for all the sessions that might exist under that particular workshop. So I'm going to copy that deep link. Okay. Just going to copy it, right? Then I'm going to go over to my text file that has my calendar invite in it. It would behoove you to download one of these to your computer, and then I'm going to replace it. That's it. Now I can take this, not where it says new version. I'm going to take everything up to here, and I'm going to copy it. Then I'm going to go back to the calendar invite area, and where's my paste button? Paste is plain text. And I can move this down and see the whole calendar invite. So this is all the stuff. This is the information that's in that calendar invite. This is all the information that's in that ICS file. So when they actually open that on their calendar, they're going to have all this information there for themselves to see. So when they go to the calendar and they actually click on it, it has the deep link, it has the title, it has the brief instructions. What we did differently with this invite was we did put some instructions for Zoom and Teams. to help them because we get a lot of support tickets for that kind of stuff. So now I'm going to just reduce that a little bit out of my way. That's the calendar invite body. And calendar reminder, 1 hour. Enable wait list. You can enable the wait list. And you can also enable the autofill from wait list. What's that mean? That means if this session were to top over 50, you don't have to worry about anything. Let's say your group said, our cap is 50 and we don't want to have any more people registering after 50. The system will put those people who register on an automatic wait list. And then if somebody unregisters for a workshop, it will automatically, choose from the list at the top, whoever's next, and it will automatically send them out of registration because somebody dropped off. So 49, the system looks at the wait list, pulls somebody from the wait list and sends out, you're now registered for this workshop. And now we're back to 50 again. So that's how the wait list option works. And we just always enabled it. Not that we necessarily need it. In some cases we may, you never know. But we always enable it. And notifications,
Only the first one.
we need to make sure that this one is on. This is session registration for learners. That means when Amanda registers for this workshop or Nick registers for this workshop, that he's going to get that confirmation email with the ICS file saying, hey, you just registered this is your confirmation for the Interviewing 101 workshop. It has the ICS file attached and some brief instructions. That's why you enable that. And then the learner list, there's nobody in that right now. Okay. And if you want, you can go back and check yourself. Everything looks good. I mean, I'm sure Nick will tell you, double check it. And I think that's not a bad idea to check it 3 times. Just double check it. Complete on open. Laura's the session host. Microsoft Teams. And if I feel like I want to double check that link again, go ahead. Go back up to general settings. Interviewing 101. I forgot something. SW 101. Blah, blah, blah. Recurrent. That's off. Looks good. Times look good. And double check the times. And then you click save and close. And that's it. That's how you create one from scratch, right? So you can easily do that. There's also, let's say Amanda comes back to this a month later or some time after, and she wants to create another one, 2 more of these sessions for a future month. Right? Now, could she create one from scratch? Anybody?
Sure, why not? But why would you?
Right. She can. She can create one from scratch if she likes to, or she can make a copy of an existing one. What, Nick?
I was going to say, this is what you're mostly 99% of the time going to do.
Yes. I want you to know. Yeah. I want you to know how to do it from scratch.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
And if you feel you want to do that, go right ahead. That's why we just did the training. Now, if you want to make a copy of one, copies. So I'm trying to think of the best way to verbalize this. We've noticed we've had some
idiosyncrasy
issues. Yeah, issues with copies. Okay. I have a ticket in to our vendor right now, and I'm told just as of yesterday that they're going to correct this. Okay. But in the meantime, there's a workaround. So you could go up here. But what happened to Laura? She got kicked out. Okay. You could double click this or go to session details. So I'm going to double click it. Now, if you click the copy button right now, so let's say this were a session that Amanda did a month ago, right? It would be in here. She would see it. Let's say, right? Let's say it's a session that was completed. It has a real roster in it, which we don't want to touch because that's our, that's our data point stuff. It has a roster in it. And Amanda wants to make a copy. She wants to take the easy peasy way out. Right? So she comes over here and I'm not going to do it, but I'm going to click session details and she can click copy. That's it. And what happens is the system creates a copy immediately. But what I don't like is the fact that the copy has the same name and everything else as the original. And I probably will test that after I do something in a minute. It has the same name. Everything looks the same, except the copy does not have a roster in it anymore. It blows the roster out because this is going to be for a new time and date. So the copy doesn't have the roster. I'm proposing that you do this. Come up here, click session details. Okay. The name is the same, but in this example, I'm just going to put copy in that name, right? And I'm going to select a new time and date. So March 1st. I'm probably talking so loud and I got a lot of people around me. So I'm going to pick another time and date. I'm going to pick the 8th. (9 a.m.) Set 9 to 10, right? Now it looks like I'm changing the original, but I'm not. So I put the word copy in there so that it can see that this is my copy. Eastern time, learner time zone, blah, blah, blah. Everything else that's in here is going to be retained. Except now I'm going to click copy after I change the title and put the word copy in, and after I change the date. And I'm going to click copy. And now I can see where my copy is. I'm not guessing. Which one is it? Okay. So that's like the workaround. Nick and whoever else was in here it was Nick, I believe. And Nick was making copy after copy after copy, just copy. And the names, it looks exactly the same. So you would have to click on it to see. And you can see in this case, the copy went up top. But if you didn't change the name and just click the copy, I believe that copy goes to the bottom. You would click on it and look to see, is there a roster in there?
Yeah, always check,
Yeah,
like
always
double
check.
check the roster. Roster's
So-
gotta be 0.
With this method, this little workaround, until we get the system to automatically generate a copy with a different name, etc., is we can see that is the copy we just made. And I like that method better. I want to double click on that. What do I have to change? I want to, what should I change? I made the copy. What should I go in here and change? I should look at general settings.
Okay,
And I want to take that word copy out, right? I don't want that to be in there when it goes live, when it's
Right.
being seen.
because that name is what is gonna show up on the calendar.
Right.
In that field.
In that session where that deep link was, where you saw all the sessions, you're going to see the word copy if you leave it in there.
Yeah,
So I'm taking that out. The date was good. Remember, I changed the date when I put the word copy in. The next thing I did was change the date. So date's fine. I need a new one of these, right? If you forget it, those people will never get into your session, whoever's doing this session. So I want to blow this out. Just for example purposes, I would go into my calendar. I could do it before I made the copy, get my link, paste my new link in, do your launch location check to make sure the name is right. And what we did before. All the other settings are retained, complete and open. Laura, is somebody else doing this one? Dwight's doing it. Okay. Advanced settings. Don't have to mess with that. And do I have to mess with the calendar invite? No, because the deep link to all those sessions is going to be the same. And so is the name. It's going to be exactly the same. So you don't have to touch it. Scroll down. Go to 1 hour. It's the same. These settings are the same. Boom. That's the same. There's nobody in the learner list. Oh boy. Okay. It says you must enter a valid webinar URL. Oh, look what I put in there. Shoot. Okay. So I'll go back to my Teams folder and I'll just copy that just for example for this training. And I'll put that link in. That's good that the system does that. It knows it's not a, and I'm going to click save and close and I'm done. Now, that's it. You know how to create one from scratch. I like doing it that way. You know how to make a copy and use the workaround to input a different name and a different time and date. And then you click copy and you'll be able to see your copy right away. And where this gets a little confusing is in maybe a session, a lesson that has like 5 or 6 different ones in there. And now you made a copy and you're like, okay, where's the copy? I can't find it. I'm not sure which one it is. Yes, Nick.
Yeah, if I can add, just we've all had experiences, or most of us have, where we have had a roster that had like people in it already, right? That said complete. We've all seen that error, right? When we've facilitated, right? When you went in, oh man, there's people already marked as complete in here. That was probably me, although when I created it. So you want to be very careful that you pick one with an empty roster, because if you pick the wrong one and it's easy to do, what you end up doing is just changing the date of an already completed session where people attended.
That's a good point. Thank you.
Right. So I just wanted to make sure you got to be real, you got to double check that roster to make sure it's empty and that you're working off the copy, because it's real easy. And David did the same thing. So I'm not the only knucklehead, because he's like, we both said, yeah, it's really easy to do. Be careful, because if you work off of the wrong one, you're working off the original, not the copy. The original has a complete took place last week, and it has a roster in it. So you're just changing the date of an already completed session. So
it looks
people could get in. Yeah, and it looks the same.
It looks like the system completed people when the session didn't even start.
Right.
That's the issue.
That's because that's because you worked off the original and not the copy.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So when you do that, the original already took place last week or whatever. Let's say do's and don'ts or resumes. All you're doing is changing the date of an already completed workshop. So when people register, it's creating a new entry of a completed workshop that already has roster status filled out.
Okay.
Does that make sense to everyone? So that's what you want to be real. You want to be really, really to triple check. That's why we're putting copy in there. That's why we're having the vendor make changes across the board for all users. And that's why you got to go slow and really double check to make sure when you're making copies, you double check that roster to make sure it's empty.
How do I I forget how to do this. I don't want to, I'm looking at the time. How do
Mhm.
how do I give my mouse control to somebody else?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know that.
I think they have disabled that function in our teams from our IT.
Oh, we can't do it?
I don't think so. Like,
Ah,
I think
Haas.
the EDSI IT has disabled that from our side.
Yeah, I
That's,
can't do
I mean,
that.
it's like grade,
You know, I'm used
like
to, when I used
disabled,
to
but
use GoToWebinar, could do all that stuff.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
it's like the function is disabled here.
I'm going to pick on somebody and I'm going to ask real quick. Uh, let me ask a volunteer. Who can walk me through making a copy?
I can do it.
Step.
I can try it.
Great. I was hoping you would, Amanda. Okay. I'm ready
Especially
for you.
because I'm the first one to be like, wait, I want to try this myself.
And that's why I was going to turn the mouse over to you, but I don't think I can do it.
So I need to get my portal, correct?
Yep.
Huh?
Oh, I was saying I have to open up the portal, correct?
No, you can just look at my screen.
You're going to
Oh,
you're going
and
to
just
guide
walk you
Charles.
through it. Oh, okay. I
Yeah,
thought you
you're
wanted
gonna-
me to screen share.
Let me see
Never
something.
mind.
No, I can't allow somebody to take my mouse. Oh,
I guess
all
she
right.
could
Take
do
my
it from
mouse,
her.
please.
She could do it from her portal and share her screen, right?
Huh?
She could do it from her portal and share her screen, right?
Can you?
Yeah, I can. That's what I thought you were asking me to do originally.
Yeah, could you take my control of my mouse?
I don't think so. No.
No,
Let me see.
she's just going to share screen and create one, right?
There you go. Thank
Yeah.
you. That's what happens after. All right. Get to see
And then-
Amanda's screen. Here we go.
All right, so I'm on the portal.
Course
I
catalog.
want to go to course catalog. And I'm copying, not making one. I can, do you want me to do it from the workshop?
Let's
test
do a
folder,
copy
correct?
first. Yeah, let's do a copy first.
All right, so the portal workshops.
Remember, that's a test folder, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then if I want
Let's-
to make a test of one of the ones you just did, correct?
You can do, yeah, you can make a copy of any one on that page.
All right. So I go to session details. I'm going to type in copy before I do anything else because I want to make sure
Beautiful.
I'm working off the correct things. Select my date. Let's say it's going to be on March 25th at, we'll keep it at the same, I'll change the time.
Use your mouse wheel. Yeah, that was something somebody mentioned to me. Use your mouse wheel and the time will appear automatically.
Why won't it let me select?
You don't have to. You just roll to that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Then
That's annoying. I can't.
yeah, it takes some
It's not
getting used to.
landing where I want it.
Yeah, and then you have to go over to minutes and set the minutes to 0.
Oh, that's so annoying. Okay.
You could, yeah.
Hold on,
And then
somebody's,
AM or PM.
So 10 a.m. and it defaults to an hour.
Yeah.
Oh, it didn't switch to 10. All right, let's try that again. Oh, that's
okay, I'm back.
all right. So I have it set to 10.
Excellent.
Go
Done.
Here's why you got to go
What am I
down
doing?
to the bottom and click set. And
Yeah.
Oh,
sometimes
and I can't see set because of the screen share thing. All right.
Yeah.
you
Let
can
So
me
you know
try
what you
one more
do?
time.
Here. You know what you do?
I see what's, yeah.
Zoom out.
You got it.
Yeah.
You got it.
The little bar from Teams that says that I'm sharing my screen was covering up the cancel and the set. That's how that was happening.
Okay.
All right, so I have it
There you
set to, it's super easy to do when you can actually see it. Wow.
It's, yeah. So here's a little hack. If you can't see the save and close button, just press Control on your keyboard and use your, there it is. Done.
All right, and then I want to go to my, not yet, to my resources, and I want to change my launch location to a different Teams meeting.
Perfect.
Which I don't I'd have to go back into Teams and get a Teams meeting open. Do you want me to do
Yeah.
it real quick? Or
Nah.
I know that I can do it.
Nah, I know, you know.
And then I'm gonna
You
hit
said it,
copy.
you have to change it, and that's exactly what you said, and that's exactly right. So,
All right.
okay,
And then I want to change the session host to myself.
there you go.
And I don't need to touch anything else because all I'm doing is making a copy.
Right.
Should I double check the learner list to make sure it's empty? Is that like a good best practice?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Never a bad idea.
And then I hit copy, not save and
Right.
close, because if I save and close, I'm altering an existing one.
I think Nick hit save and close more than a few times. He's gonna get upset. No,
Not at all.
it's all good, dude.
No, no.
just-
And
I-
then,
I'm just,
Yeah, it's just a big
Yeah.
mess when you merge like rosters. It's a mess.
well, you were putting a lot of stuff in, and you were probably, yeah, it
Just gets
happens. Oh,
tedious.
shoot, yeah.
right,
So
and then I'm just
this-
gonna go back to session details and get rid of the word copy because that is unnecessary.
Right.
And
And
then
we
I hit
always-
save and close.
We always want the SW number in there. Perfect. Okay,
Okay.
now create,
Sharing. Oh, sorry, I hit stop
Oh.
sharing. I
um,
can share again. I thought I was
Does-
done being the guinea pig. I'm
does
sorry.
anybody, we have a few minutes. I think we can get through this. Does anybody want to, oh, you don't have the, you might not have the calendar invite unless you copied it out of it. Does anybody want to do a session from scratch?
I could try one.
Go for it,
If you
Amanda.
still want to use me as the guinea
Yeah,
pig,
go for it. Share your screen.
let me share again.
Before you do
I don't know
anything,
why I keep volunteering for things.
before you do anything, copy that. Actually, I can put it in the chat.
All right, thank you. That would be helpful.
Yeah, this is the, okay. You remember it's on the admin page, but I'll put it in the chat for right now. There it is. Okay,
All right.
there's your calendar invite. Okay,
All right. So if I am making a
Putting-
new one,
you're putting one in from scratch. Perfect.
so it's not just test lesson. I'm here. It's under portal workshops.
You got it. And there's the test lesson. So the lesson, technically, the lesson name would be interviewing, whatever yeah. So you're,
Gotcha.
that, right. And you're going to
All
double
right. So
click,
I don't remember the very first step.
double
but
click
most
on
of it
the,
I have notes.
the biggest difference when you're creating one from scratch, okay, is you're going to go to the lesson. That's where it says test lesson. That's why I gave you access to this folder. And you go to
All right.
test lesson, double click on it.
And
Now
then
you're
I can
gonna-
make a new lesson.
You can make a new lesson by going down to the session list. Okay. Now, I'm sorry, yeah, we're making,
So that's the session list. Would it be back under general settings?
There is a
just got-
button below
Oh,
there.
add
Yeah.
session
Yeah,
at the
add
bottom.
add session at
Yeah,
the bottom. I
that's
just
the one.
got distracted for a second.
we go.
Sorry about that.
Okay, so interviewing 102 instead of 101. So I need to make sure I'm in the right time zone, and I am. I don't hit recurrent. Did I hit use learner's time zone?
Yes.
Okay.
And remember, you're going to have
Um,
this video. You're going to have this video because I'm going to upload this.
Okay.
So any of you will be able to come back to this video and either watch me do it or Amanda do it step by step. I mean,
All right. So we'll set it to March 1st at
Yeah, just pick any time.
Trying to get it down to 0, 1 o'clock in the afternoon set.
Perfect.
For resources, I'm gonna need Teams because we're hosting through Teams. I need a Teams link, so I'm just gonna
Copy a link
go
from someplace.
yeah, try to get my calendar open. Do the test link from a test I did earlier today with Jean. Here we go.
Perfect.
Put that in there, do a launch location test to make sure that it is still good. And make sure that it has the right name in the top. I may have just confused my computer.
I think when you did it the
I'm not gonna
first
stress
click,
about that.
yeah, click that launch location real quick.
I click open Microsoft
Microsoft
Teams.
Teams.
That one, yeah. That's what I use.
Okay.
Sometimes it'll, yeah. Oh,
It's gonna
gosh.
make me update things and do all kinds of things.
Okay, well then don't bother, but you did, you know the steps and that's what's important. Yeah. Yeah, don't get rid of that thing.
Not gonna fight with that right now. Ah!
Not liking Teams.
All right. I'm gonna stop fighting with Teams.
You got it.
I'm gonna select the session host.
Okay, and
Attend on open. Is that one of the ones I wanted to have
Nope.
on?
you want to do
Okay, is that
utilization tracking complete on open.
There we go. I knew it was one of those two I had to do.
Yeah.
Okay, complete on open. Don't hit attend on a host. For advanced settings, I need to find where this Teams meeting is. That's not what I wanted. Find the chat.
See that?
Copy that.
Now,
Paste it
okay.
in.
Stop for a second, Amanda.
Mhm.
Okay, hold on. Just stay right where you're at. Don't go anywhere. Okay, I'm putting something in the chat. Okay. Where you just put the calendar invite is where you put contact us for help for questions.
Oh, fair enough.
That's okay.
I'm glad I messed it up. It means that I'll remember if I ever have to do this again.
Yeah, just blank it all out. Control A, and then you can delete it.
Fair enough.
And now that's it right there. And the tags, I'm not saying you have to do it, but if you want to put like interviewing or something, maximum learners, 50.
Do I need to hit 0 or just leave that blank for minimum?
Just leave it blank. And there's where the calendar invite goes, where it says calendar invite body. So that's where you would. And since we're still, while you're copying that, since Amanda is still doing the same workshop, which is interviewing 101, SW 101, nothing in that calendar invite has to be changed. The deep link is going to go to the right place. That's going to go where all the sessions are listed, right? Not the beginning page, but when you click on the session button and shows you all the different sessions available, that's the deep link. The deep link is the same and the title's the same. So you don't have to change any of it. You put in 1 hour, enable wait list, enable autofill.
And
Go to
then
notifications. Click the one
select
up
the
top.
top
That's
one.
important. And the learner list.
And then the learner list should be empty.
There you go.
And then save and close.
That's it.
And then I have interviewing 102.
Exactly. Well done. That's how it's
All
done.
right.
Okay. Let me stop the record. I think I can stop the recording now, and then I'll ask anybody if they have any questions. Record and transcribe, stop recording. Okay, so.